What's going on, everybody? C4 here today. Continue with the Madden 18, Madden 17 roster reveal. Today we're taking a look at the San Francisco 49ers, a roster that's in desperate need of some upgrades. Did they do enough during the draft and free agency? We will find out. As always, if you guys want to know in depth what's going on in these rosters, please go check out the Philadelphia Eagles episode. But the cliff notes are essentially these rosters are made up of ratings that are based off of my opinion, Pro Football Focus, or stats from last year. All teams' draft picks for the first 3 rounds have been included. Rounds 4 to undrafted free agents. I've just included notable guys that I wanted in my roster. At 35,000 subscribers, you guys will be getting these rosters for free. If you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you're not a dickhead, I probably will, at least look into it. At least look into it. That's all I can say. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the 49ers. At the quarterback spot, they're going to be going with old man Brian Hoyer as their starter. I mean, he's not that old. Let's be honest. What is he, 30? He's 30. He was not terrible last season with the Chicago Bears. I mean, he's definitely not the long-term solution there in San Francisco, but I do applaud them for not reaching for a quarterback in the draft last year. We all know what happens when you reach for a quarterback in the draft. More often than not, that does come back to bite you in the assholes. Right in the asshole. So they decided to go with all the Bears quarterbacks here pretty much. But I mean, last year, Brian Hoyer came in, went 1-4 as a starter, 14, almost 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, and no picks. In comparison, Matt Barkley got 8 touchdowns, 18 interceptions in 6 starts. So they also got C.J. Beathard here out of Iowa, who a lot of people are ranting and raving about, but I didn't see it at Iowa. I thought he was one of the worst quarterback prospects in this class. But I guess they're ranting and raving about Beathard. But yeah, Hoyer probably will be their starter. I think he's a nice stopgap guy, especially for how much they paid for him. But don't expect much. You basically got what you thought the Bears had on offense was good last year. That's basically what you have here at quarterback. And the Bears picked one spot after the 49ers. Anyways, over to the running back spot, we gave Carlos Hyde an 84 overall last season. 13 games played, 988 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. But for total, 1,151 yards from scrimmage and 9 touchdowns. I think Hyde is still serviceable. I know there's lots of rumblings. Maybe not lots of rumblings, but they're like, maybe they'll go Leonard Fournette. But I really feel like when you look at this offense, Carlos Hyde is like the one piece. If he can continue to stay healthy, he's pretty much like the one big-time player they have right now in the offense. Everyone else, nothing crazy. I mean, you had Tim Hightower here, who we gave a 78. He was, got pretty decent stats last year in a rotational role, it seemed like, more often than not, with Mark Ingram in that backfield. They got Bibbs from the Broncos in a, I think it was a draft trade, maybe? They got Joe Williams, who we gave a 69 overall, and Raheem Mostert, Philadelphia Eagle legend, 62. Joe Williams probably will carve out this. I think Joe Williams and Hightower will battle it out for the RB2 spot. Who wins that? No one knows. Fullback, we gave Kyle Juszczyk a 90 overall. They brought him in from the Baltimore Ravens, made him the highest paid fullback in history, and he is the best fullback in the NFL, so we figured best of your position will give you at least a 90. I think it's the highest overall out of anyone on this roster. At the wide receiver spot, they gave Pierre Garçon an ungodly amount of money. I think it worked out to, it was like a long-term deal, but essentially it was like a 1-year. They still are, I think they're paying him, what, like $60 million a year for a guy that just broke 1,000 yards last year in a pass-happy offense in Washington. But, I mean, they have the cap, and you need to attract free agents somehow. You're going to have to overpay for them, and Garçon is a nice fit. He's 30. I still think he probably will be their leading receiver. They got Curley, who has a 77 overall. Last year, Curley had 64 catches for 667 and 3. He was a leading receiver on the team, but his stats weren't that great, but neither was that offense. They got Marquise Goodwin from the Buffalo Bills, big-time burner, separate the field. Aldrick Robinson, another, like both these guys are burners. Aldrick Robinson coming with Kyle Shanahan from the Falcons. They got Bruce Ellington, Aaron Burbridge, Trent Taylor, who I think is a very underrated pick. Go check out his college tape. Could be the slot wide receiver there. Smelter and Mose Frazier. Over the tight end spot, we gave Vance McDonald a 77 overall, even though he's probably the most overpaid player in the NFL. 24 catches, 391 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's not awful. So we gave him a 77. Garrett Sellett with a 72. Paulson, 70. Blake Bell, the former quarterback, 65. And we have 2 just terrible guys. Oh, Jesus Christ. George Kittle. We're going to edit that. We're going to do edit on the fly. George Kittle was an athletic monster during the combine. I really like that pick. Like a 4.6. Ran fairly well, so we'll bump it up. Give him, he'll probably have 83 speed, 84 acceleration. Will make his awareness not horrific. His catching will bump it. I think I just modified one of the long snappers because this is a good example. Because of the offline player management tool, it is incredibly difficult to try and do pretty much anything to, I know he's probably an H-back, to these rosters. It is fucking so frustrating. All right, he's a 55. Basically have to edit all the rookies because they only let you custom create like 40 goddamn players. It's probably more than that, but it's there's lots of limitations to all these things. Let's get at least up into the 60s for a lot of these. So you have to take players. Like right now, they had a rookie long snapper, so that is who I decided to make into a tight end. But because, let's just get his stats at least as somewhat athletic. Yeah, so this is what you have to do. It is not very fun to do all these things, but you do it for the rosters, you do it for the people. You actually jumped pretty well, given that. All right, now he's a 69. That's too overpowered. But anyways, we'll just leave it at that. You could come in and tweak this out, 49er fans, to what you want. But yeah, that's how we do it. He was a rookie long snapper. We had to make him into a tight end. During the left tackle spot, we gave Joe Staley an 81 overall, probably the best guy on this offensive line. So we gave him an 81. At left guard, we gave Zane Beatles a 70. Pro Football Focus graded him horrendous last year, but it was at the center position that I had my grade of 42. So we'll assume moving back to left guard. We'll act like he has a little bit of talent still left in the tips of the fingers from when he was with Denver. We'll give him a 70. Jeremy Zuda, coming over from the Baltimore Ravens, gave him an 84 overall. He's actually the highest guy. That could be up for debate. Let's see what he got when he was playing with Baltimore here. I got all the ratings. He had an 82.2 grade for Baltimore Ravens, and I'm being generous because I feel bad for the 49ers, so that's why, where he could be an 82, 83. We'll give him the 84 and be generous. Kilgore here, 71. Right guard, Brandon Fusco, coming over from the Minnesota Vikings. He's not horrific. He's not great. I mean, that Vikings offensive line was not very good, but I think he was banged up last year. That's a 71. Garnett, who I thought was actually going to be great, graded with a 45 for Pro Football Focus, so we gave him a 69 just because I'm still optimistic he can turn it around. At the right tackle spot, we have Trent Brown and Gary Gilliam. Trent Brown with a 74. Pro Football Focus gave him a 51. Maybe we should already downgrade that a bit. Maybe it's my Florida Gator bias, which you guys see throughout my videos. And they got Gary Gilliam, 71, coming over from the Seattle Seahawks. Very worried about this offensive line. That's the only way to put it. Left defensive end, we have Solomon Thomas, 78 overall. I've seen a couple depth chart website have him listed as a defensive tackle. I don't think that will be the case. I think he can play that. Obviously, his height and weight, you need to edit that in the connected franchise mode because, once again, the limitations of offline player management. But I think he will be more so an end, and they'll slide someone else into defensive tackle. So he's a 78, which is tied for the third highest rookie in these year's rosters. We have Ronald Blair with a 74 overall. He got himself some nice sacks here and some rotational duty. I think he finished with 3 sacks. Yeah, 3 sacks, no starts, so that's not bad. Upside for the rookie. We have DeForest Buckner here at right defensive end with a 78 overall. Last year had 6 sacks and 73 tackles. Pretty good production from the rookie. Aaron Lynch moving from outside linebacker to defensive end in the 4-3 switch is a 76. Defensive tackle, I have Eric Armstead over a Solomon Thomas moving to defensive tackle. We gave him a 76 overall. Last year he had 4 starts. I guess he was banged up. 2.5 sacks. And just shy of 15 tackles. We have Quentin Dial, 76. Earl Mitchell, 73. And DJ Jones, the rookie at Ole Miss, 61. Down to the left outside linebacker, we give Aaron Brooks a 78 overall. Ahmad Brooks, 78 overall. Last year, he had 4 pass deflections, a forced fumble, 6 sacks, and just over 50 tackles. So not a bad year. Ted Carradine, 74. Dakota Watson, 66. Middle linebacker, Navarro Bowman. We gave him an 88 because I respect him. 4 starts last year. Only had 4 games. 4 starts, got hurt. He had 1 interception, 2 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, a sack, and 35 tackles. If he played that whole season, he probably would have led the league in tackles. So he's still sticking him with an 88. I had him as a 90 because he missed a lot of next season. We just downgraded him to an 88, which is still a very good rating for anyone on these 49er rosters. Larry Armstrong with a 70, Coyle 68, and Curtis Grant with a 60. Down to the right outside linebacker spot, we gave Reuben Foster a 75, very talented rookie that the 49ers traded back into the first round to select him. A good pick. I mean, there are some off-field concerns with his attitude and his injuries, but if he's healthy, I fully imagine that he will be a starter on this defense, even though they did bring in Malcolm Smith in free agency, and he was fairly productive with the Oakland Raiders. I think Reuben Foster, I think it'd be maybe Ahmad Brooks because of the scheme change that might take the hit, and Michael Smith and Foster could be their outside linebackers. But as it stands right now, that's going to be a good battle to watch. We have Eli Harold here. We get a 71 overall. He had 3 sacks last season. Maybe that could be a little bit higher, debatably. I'd be open to upping that a little bit. Jump to the secondary, we gave Jimmy Ward a 79 overall. Jimmy Ward last season led the team, or actually second place on the team. The guy that led the team is no longer on the team. Jimmy Ward in 10 starts had an interception, He had 12 pass deflections, a forced fumble, a sack, and 52 tackles. Plenty of upside here for a guy that can pretty much play anywhere in the defensive secondary, but now is an out-and-out corner, so 79. Rashard Robinson, who was a baller. I had him mocked to the Philadelphia Eagles in a bunch of mocks last season. Played very well for the San Francisco 49ers. Plenty of upside here. In only 6 starts, but 14 appearances. He had an interception, 8 pass deflections, and 30 total tackles. Plenty of upside. They had K'Wan Williams, 75. He was one of the top actual overall free agents when they signed him. Keith Reeser, 70. Johnson, 69. Redmond, 68. And Prince Iwara, 62. Jumping to the free safeties, we gave Eric Reed a 78 overall. Last season, Eric Reed, in 10 games played, had an interception. He had 6 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and just over 60 total tackles. Still some upside there for Eric Reed. We got Don Jones, 70, and Vinny Sunsery, 66. Jumping to the strong safety, Jaquiski Tart, we gave him a 74 overall. Last season, Jaquiski Tart. What did you do for me, Jaquiski? What did you do for me? He had 15 appearances, but only 6 starts. He had 3 pass deflections, a sack, and just shy of 50 total tackles. So again, this is a young secondary. Still plenty of upside for most of these guys. So a 74, I think, is fair for Tart, and a 64 here for Marcus Ball. They got Phil Dawson as a free. Actually, you gotta change that because you can't. The kickers are stupid. We'll make a trade right here. We can't look. You can't trade. It's super hard to make a trade. They don't have Phil Dawson as a kicker anymore. Their kicker is Robbie Gould, who actually was pretty goddamn accurate for the Giants last season. So when you get into your connected franchise mode, flip him. Because look, there is a way to trade kickers, but it's super annoying because online play. Why wouldn't Madden make it easy? They never make it easy. But yeah, Phil Dawson's the one with the kicker. Make sure you get Robbie Gould in there. And the punter there, Bradley Pinion, who gave a 75 overall, was not horrible last year as a rookie or young punter in the league. So there you go, guys. Trade for Robbie Gould, and then you have your Madden 18, Madden 17, San Francisco 49ers rosters. As always, if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings you see here today, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I've even looked for some opinions and some input on some, so feel free to give that. 35,000 subscribers, I will be releasing these to you guys. And until next time, it is C4.